Yeah, what's good, everybody? You are listening to the Joe Miller Show, the Joe Miller Podcast. The Joe Miller talks about something and you listen to whatever he has to say because apparently it's pretty interesting. I'm not from Pakistan. I know a few people who are from Pakistan. So yeah, let's get right into the podcast today. We've got some topics here. We have our usual happy birthdays. We also are adding a little news segment. We have some interesting little news bites today. We are going to dive into them, and we are also going to revisit one of our topics. Can you dream it? I love that segment so much. Oh my gosh, I love it. Can you dream it yourself? I can dream it. Can you? It's not really up to me whether or not you can dream it because I'm not really in your head, if that makes sense to you. But we're going to be talking about dreams. We're going to be talking about sleep. We're going to be talking about, what gets you going, what wakes you up in the morning, make you snappy, make you real snappy, make you jump out of your bed. Because I woke up on the right side of the bed today. Not the right side. I woke up on actually the left side, which was the right side. If you know what I'm saying. So we're going to jump right into the birthdays. I didn't really look up whose birthday it was today. But I think there's probably some pretty cool people. Maybe we'll find some more dads. In the last episode, episode 2 of Joe Miller Show, we found out that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's kid was turning 4 yesterday. But today, it is December 17th. Fortunately, I'm not recording this podcast after 12 p.m., so it really is 12/17/2018. How about that, people? I think that's a pretty good first for me. Recording this before 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. is pretty good, in my opinion. So we got the birthdays pulled up. Oh my gosh, we got some huge ones today. Pope Francis. Can we get a quick little golf clap for Pope Francis? He's an inspiration to everybody. He really just gets the crowd. He gets the people going, you know what I'm saying? He gets the people going. And he's a really great guy, honestly. He just always looks happy. In every picture I've ever seen of Pope Francis, he just looks like a happy man. So, shouts out to Pope Francis, 82. I guess you might have to be old to be the Pope. I don't know. Hands up. I don't know. Maybe I'll be the Pope one day. Yeah, no. Definitely if I was the Pope, I think that the world would be flipped upside down and turned inside out. And we would live on the inside of the earth. We would live where the core was, and it'd be dark. It'd be very dark and scary. You would not want me as the Pope. You would not want me as the Pope. Okay, another birthday. But shouts out to Pope Francis. So, another birthday, Manny Pacquiao, superstar fighter. He's known for fighting Floyd Mayweather, I believe. That's kind of about all I know. I'm pretty sure he is from the Philippines, and he was like undefeated for a super long time. Shouts out to him. He's 40 years old today. Who else do we have? Who else? We have Young Nudie. If any of you know who Young Nudie is, he's kind of an up-and-coming rapper. He makes some real trap stuff, so if you're the faint of heart, I wouldn't go listen to him, but he's pretty good if you ask me. Chase Utley, big-time baseball player. He's been on the Phillies he's been on the Phillies since I was playing t-ball. I'm not even kidding. I played t-ball when I was 7 years old. Chase Utley, 40 years old. In baseball, it's kind of interesting. You can play sports for a while, but in baseball, you can play until you're 45, maybe even 50. I wonder who the oldest I wonder who the oldest baseball player of all time was. Let's look that up. Who's the oldest baseball player of all time? Julio Franco retired as the oldest position player in modern baseball. Wow. That's quite a feat. In 2007, at the age of 49, Julio Franco was a veteran pitcher and retired as the oldest pitcher in MLB history. How about that, folks? Imagine being 49 and throwing a baseball at 100 miles an hour at somebody. How about that? That would be nuts. Okay, but happy birthday to Chase Utley, age 40. Oh my gosh, what a find. This is a throwback to who even knows when. We have Nat Wolff, who, as you may not know, was the starring guitarist. He was a starring singer in the Naked Brothers Band. Oh my gosh. Claps out to Nat Wolff. Him and his brother Alex Wolff were just stunting. They were just going so great on the Naked Brothers Band and the show they had. If anybody remembers that, oh my gosh, that was a classic show. Honestly, one of my favorites. But now he's like a big time actor. I'm pretty sure he plays a bunch of roles. He was in that movie. Paper Towns, which actually has one of my favorite songs, and it's called what's it called? Oh man, is it Paper Towns? The song's called "Lost It to Trying" by Sun Lux. You all should go listen to it. I'll play it right here, just real quick. Enjoy these last few seconds. The song is called "Lost It to Trying" by Sun Lux. So that's what that sounds like right there, bud. Yeah, so happy birthday to Nat Wolff. He's 24 years old. That's not that far from me. That is not that far from me. And that's gonna do it for our people here today, our folks on the birthday show, on the birthday list, the Joe Miller Show. We also have a new segment coming up on the show. It's a News Bites. A little bit of news, a little bite, just a tad, just a little bite. It's like caviar. It's so sweet in your mouth. Oh man, it's savory. It's like a little goldfish, just salty, just like the perfect amount. It's just perfectly baked. A little news bit. And the first one, oh my gosh, if you did not see this, you are missing out. UPS store offers to shred children's letters to Santa Claus in viral tweet. Obviously, the news overreads the situation. Apparently, UPS, the store, tweeted out that if your child addresses a letter to the North Pole, they said that you can leave it with us. We do shredding. Oh, yes. Oh, UPS, you are so classic with your tweets. I wonder who runs that page, because that is gold. That is pure comedy gold. And of course, there is so much backlash at UPS for this. People calling them the Grinch. People calling them bigots. No, that's a lie. That no one called them a bigot, but people calling them the Grinch. Apparently somebody said, and his heart shrunk 3 sizes that day, which is also a Grinch quote. But I think this is super funny because honestly, what do UPS and the United States Postal Service do with all the letters addressed to the North Pole? Do they actually shred them? They should donate them, or I don't know. There has to be a better way to kind of, move the envelopes, just move them somewhere else. Maybe give them to somebody. I'm not sure. Maybe some veterans or old people who can maybe give toys to the underprivileged. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but there should be definitely something besides shredding them. That just seems so sad, because I was one of those kids. Writing to Santa. I wanted a new computer graphics card. I wanted some Heelys. I wanted a baseball bat and a trampoline. Oh man, I wanted a trampoline every year, let me tell you. My mom is listening to this and she knows it. She needs to get me a trampoline this year for Christmas. There is how many days? There's 7 days until Christmas. She needs to get that trampoline for me, or I'm going to go ballistic in this household. Or a pony. And I mean, back on topic, I wrote so many letters to Santa. I'm kind of disappointed to even hear UPS just outright saying that they're going to shred them. That's just pure comedy. That is just gold by UPS there. The next news bite. Oh my goodness. The next news bite is another one. Another pure comedy gold situation that the news loves to overplay. If you can't tell, I love the news a lot. College student abandons pet fish after Southwest Airlines doesn't allow a carry-on bag. Oh, Southwest, oh, the evil Southwest. They're like the Grinch too. What is this? So apparently TSA did not allow a live fish in a carry-on bag. Is that surprising to any of you? I don't really know. That is not surprising at all to me. If I was a TSA worker and I found out a person had a fish alive in a bag, I would not want that on a plane. Who knows? It could die from pressure or something. It could die and the whole plane smells like a rotten fish for the rest of the flight. Why would you even think about taking your pet fish in a carry-on bag? It's just a fish. Get somebody to take care of it. Oh my goodness. I guess if they're moving, but that's kind of the sad thing. I guess a fish is kind of set to their location. You get them from the store, which is nearby, or you get them and carry them home, and then they're kind of stuck there. They're kind of stuck at your home, which is kind of sad. I wish there was a better way of transporting fish. If anybody has any ideas of ways you can transport a fish to different parts of the country or world, who knows? You could take your goldfish to China for all I care. We need your expertise. Please comment. Please do something. Inform me on your tactics or strategies to get this fish, because Southwest won't even allow it. How are they not allowing it? Those evil people. So those are news bites for today. Oh man, I love the news. They just love just picking up the muckiest things you can even think about. But now moving on quickly. Who the fudge is that? Well, today we don't have a guest. Yet again, I'm so sorry. We will have a guest very soon. My friends have actually still been at college, since I'm home from school and no one else is. I've had to be a bit lonely, folks. I've had to be a bit lonely with it here. So no one is fudging here. So we're going to move on to the next one. What's the point? What is the point? What's the point of that? And today, did you guys like that little singing intro? Did you like that little songbird? You can call me a songbird if you want. You can call me just Singing Joe if you want. What's the point? What is it? What is that point about? It's not a 9 point. It's not 7 point lead. We are down to a 5 point lead. And our topic today is crazy expert level vlogs. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to look up any sort of vlog about having a child. So the premise of this is that people do not know how to separate their normal private lives from the lives that they post on social media. And this seems so simple. It seems so simple. There's just things that you keep separate from everybody else that everybody else doesn't need to know. For example, having a child and recording it and hoping that you get publicity and popularity from it. There's just some things that you don't need to do. So that's our topic for What's the Point. We're going to dive into it a little bit though. We're not going to just settle for my stance. We're going to try to focus on the whole picture. We're going to try and focus on the broad spectrum of what's really going through these people's minds. Because some people do some crazy things to get viewers, to get followers, and to get famous. And I was talking with my mom about this earlier, and she was bringing up the topic of how Jackass was big back in the day, where people just did dumb things on camera. And, you know, I want to point out that was for sole entertainment purposes, and it was funny. I mean, if you've ever seen a Jackass movie, it's really funny. It's out there. It's way beyond anything that you've probably ever seen in normal everyday life. There's no way you've ever seen a gorilla man painted up and attacked by an RC plane before, as he tries to throw barrels down a hill at Mario. You know, so there's a difference between doing a video, doing a vlog that has intentions to entertain, intentions to be comedic, versus somebody who does a prank or does something violent or something outrageous just because they want to be noticed. So many vloggers these days, so many people on YouTube, so many YouTube stars, like we see in the birthdays. I'm sure some of them are liable for this. They just think that everything is okay. They think everything is okay, everything flies, record it, put it online, and you're good. I've heard, oh my gosh. I have heard of some people abusing their kids, literally abusing their kids, pushing their kids to the point of crying, where they can put the video on YouTube and get millions of views. How about that? You are willing to abuse your kids to put a video online. I mean, where's the line these days? I'm 20 years old, and I've grown up and I've grown through the age of having a phone, being able to record things, and I think adults just miss it completely. There's so many adults out there who fall into this trap of just posting whatever BS they want. And it's one thing to save a video. It's one thing to save a video for memory, so you can look back and enjoy it. It's another thing to do something that's not even memorable. Like breaking something just for views. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's this guy called TechRax, I think, on YouTube. All he does is destroy technology, which is sad. Which is so sad, because I know for a fact that half the reason why people watch the videos in the first place is because they are actually just jealous that he has so much cool technology, and he just ends up breaking it. I just don't understand what point we've gotten to where it's okay just to throw all social norms out the window and film everything. The reason why I even found this topic was when I saw a video about childbirth, just like a random childbirth, and it just made me think, people just don't know how to separate their private lives from their public lives these days. And this might just be me saying this, but I think adults are kind of the worst at it. Kids actually know pretty well what kind of belongs online and what doesn't. And obviously there's exceptions, but parents these days who are just getting hold of any video camera, getting a hold of their phone, they'll just record everything and anything and put it on Facebook. I mean, the amount of crap on Facebook these days is just insane. I hear my parents kind of talk about it a lot, how much Facebook is just like kind of just cringy because of all the weird stuff people put online. And they're just, everybody out there, you need to figure out in yourself where the line is between your public and private lives. And that's something that we're going to have to maybe even teach kids these days as well, as we grow up, as they grow up and get older. The kids these days have grown up with that access to taking videos, and they might not even know at all how to separate it. So that led me to thinking, are we going to have classes in schools that teach us about social media norms? And will there be social media norms? Should there be social media norms? I'm not really sure. On one hand, social media is something that's fluid, it's always changing, it's never just one topic, it's never just one platform. You have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you have Reddit, and with all the news as well, if you want to call that social media, I'd kind of call it social media these days. With all this access and all this crazy new technology and new social norms online, are we going to have to teach kids how to do it? How to function normally on social media? Because personally, I'm not sure that kids are able to just flow into knowing how it works. I mean, I understand that that's kind of how normal life works in social norms, but you do have to teach kids to some point social norms. And since social media is becoming such a big topic and such a big factor in everyday life, I think that one day we're going to have to start teaching like kindergartners, even as young as 7 years old, maybe, social norms. So I see so many kids with iPads and phones these days. It's kind of crazy. If they have access to Facebook and this and that, then there definitely needs to be some sort of advancement in education in social media. And this all kind of ties back to what's the point? The vlogging about random crap. This is the social norms that we need to teach people. I know that my age group kind of understands what the norms are because we've had technology and we also haven't had technology. The older age group also more or less understands the same thing, but the people growing up right now, the youngsters, the real young guys, the real young fellows, they just don't have any idea what it wasn't like to have social media. It's always been a thing. They can even watch their parents get up in the morning, check Facebook, check Instagram or Snapchat, and I'm not sure that those parents are teaching their kids what's right and what's wrong on there. They just expect them to know because that's how the parent went through it. They just learned it by themselves. So I think that's interesting. Maybe that's an opportunity for some businesses. Maybe that's an opportunity for like a schooling. maybe one day there will be a university solely based around social media. I'm sure there's a university major that revolves around social media, and I guess that's kind of marketing, to be honest. And so there definitely is majors. Let's look that up. Is there a social media major? You can major in social media. This is an article by US News. And it says that at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, New Brunswick, one can study for a mini MBA, which is a Master's in Business Administration in social media marketing for the price of $3,495, which sounds very cheap to me, to be honest. The fact that social media is such a big factor in life and in the workplace. Honestly, keeping up with your LinkedIn is really huge right now for professionalism. That $3,495 is not bad at all to major, or I guess get a mini MBA. It's still an MBA. To get a mini MBA, it says that their classes focus around analytics and the importance of social media to companies and brands. So it kind of sounds like a marketing sort of deal, but that's interesting. I'm kind of surprised that they actually coined it a social media program. I also think it's interesting how adults these days are slowly being almost forced into social media, when 5-10 years ago they were like, no, I hate that Facebook, I hate that Instagram. And now the same people are the people using it every single day. I think that is so funny to me. Wrapping it back up, what is the point? We're gonna have to, in the future, I believe, learn about our social norms on the internet far more than we even imagine right now. I think it will become so much a part of our lives that we're going to have to even set social norms and really outline and define them for the future, because you just don't really know what's going to happen with it. And some rules, maybe some norms might be good in general to control the anarchy that is already social media. If you've been on social media in the past year, you know kind of how crazy it is. Advertisements, news, you got memes, all of it. You pretty much get everything on social media. We might really need to set some standards for it. So that's what the point of, I guess, public-private social norms are. It all ties back to that topic of what you should take videos of and how you should define your use of the internet. So I hope you enjoyed this little segment of What's the Point. I thought it was a pretty interesting one. We kind of explored some areas there that were interesting. I didn't really even think about the social media major thing. If you want to say thing, I don't really know, but moving on. Okay, moving on to our next topic. Can you dream it? And that kind of sounded a little spooky. Sounded like a ghost. I hope you're not dreaming of any ghosts here. On this segment of Can You Dream It, I'm not going to explain to you one of my dreams. I know you were hoping that I would. They're interesting, and maybe I'll remember one, but unfortunately last night I didn't remember any dreams. Isn't that kind of bizarre? And maybe it'll come to me as I'm talking about it, but we're going to talk about sleep, because sleep is a major part of dreaming. If you didn't realize it, that's how you dream. If you didn't know, when you go to sleep, you dream. And basically how it works is, when you go to sleep, you enter 4 different stages of sleep. The first stage, which is pretty light sleep, which You could wake up easily. It's the first stage. You just kind of fell asleep, or your alarm clock went off and you hit the snooze button. It's just sleeping real light. That's the first stage. The second stage is a little bit deeper. This is probably when you're starting to enter deep sleep. And this is the key stage. This is where rapid eye movement happens, which is essentially the same thing as dreaming. It's called REM, rapid eye movement, and this is what makes you dream at night. So you go first stage to second stage. You don't dream in the first little move through the second stage. You go straight to the third one, which is deep sleep, down to the fourth, which is when you're basically in a catatonic state. You're just passed out in your bed and you will not move. If you wake up from a fourth stage deep sleep, you are going to feel like a mess. And then from there, what is really interesting, what happens is you jump back up to stage 2 sleep, which is the REM sleep cycle. And this is where your dreams happen. So it does take a little bit for your dreams to start. Some people think that you dream at the end of your sleep, or you dream throughout. It's more of a process that you go through. It's more that you go into sleep, you fall asleep, you go into deep sleep, and then boom, you start to dream. And what's interesting is the amount of sleep you have each night can also affect how many dreams you have. If it makes sense, the more time allotted to sleeping, the more possibility you have to enter REM cycle. So if that doesn't make sense, I'll explain it to you in numbers. Say you sleep 6 hours a night. Now, that's not bad, that's not great, but you might have less opportunity to enter REM cycle and that deep sleep, which launches you into the stage 2 dreaming state, than if you were to sleep 9 hours a night, where you have more time and more opportunities to go through your cycles. So it's a little bit bad if you're just trying to dream all the time, because I crunched the numbers, and if you sleep 8 hours a night versus 6.5, you'll be wasting 23.4 days every year, which is huge. If you sleep 6.5 hours a night every night for a year, you will have slept 98 days. Versus if you sleep 8 hours a night, you will have slept 121 days. And that's significant. That's almost a month that you could save from sleeping less. However, you won't have the opportunities to enter the same REM cycle. And in all reality, it is better to get 8 hours of sleep. I think that more sleep is in general better. Maybe not personally, but if you really want to dream, you need to be sleeping a little bit longer. And another trick with sleeping and dreaming that I've found is that if you wake up in the morning, just wake up and immediately go back to bed thinking in your mind, I'm dreaming and I'm going to dream. Because for whatever reason, personally, whenever I wake up and go back to sleep, I almost always have dreams. And this might be the same for a lot of people, but I always have dreams. So I try to use that time to dream. And the best way to do that is using mnemonic devices. It's called mnemonic induced lucid dreaming, or MILD. You can actually look this up. There's like a whole entire wiki for lucid dreaming on a website called dreamviews.com. Anybody can go check it out. Dreamviews.com has like a whole Wikipedia page basically explaining all the different techniques for lucid dreaming. And essentially what it does is when you're speaking to yourself right as you're going to sleep, you're you're sort of encapsulating the fact that you are going to sleep and the fact that you will dream. And there's something about saying it out loud, specifically saying it out loud, not just saying it in your head, that makes you almost believe that you are dreaming. Because we all know it's pretty difficult to realize that you're dreaming. So what you want to do is assure yourself through telling yourself that you're going to be dreaming, so that when you are in a dream, you already know, because you had just told yourself. And that's sort of how the mnemonic device works. And this works really well when you wake up in the morning and then try to fall back to sleep. But like I was saying with the sleep times and the amount that you sleep, if you're going to wake up and go back to sleep, you probably need an extra hour or two just to be able to do this, because you never know when you're going to wake up. And it works absolutely best if you don't have an alarm. If you wake up without an alarm, you don't even think about the alarm, you wake up, you know, okay, I'm going to go back to bed and I'm going to dream. And that's when you have to be able to go into your dream and realize that you're dreaming. And this is all theory. This is all my theory. This is all from experience. And it all goes back to you having to remember your dreams in the first place. And in order to do that, you need to be writing your dreams down every night. You need to be thinking about them throughout the day, so that when you do go to bed, you're still thinking about dreaming. And when you're in your dream, you're also thinking about dreaming. So you're realizing, hey, I'm thinking about dreaming. Do I think this is a dream? It's this weird realization of what is not real that really gets you into the state of lucidity. And this is some crazy stuff. If you never really explored lucid dreaming before, I strongly encourage you to look it up. Google lucid dreaming, Google dreamviews.com. And I'm going to be talking about lucid dreaming a lot more on the podcast because it's something that I'm deeply interested in. But that's a little bit about dreaming. So there's a little bit of a payoff. You can either sleep 6.5 hours a night or 8. You can save a month maybe, or maybe you could live a month in your dreams. You never know. You never know. And actually last night I only got 5 hours of sleep, but I felt so great. Remember how I was saying I woke up on the right side of the bed? I felt good. So I don't know. Maybe I'm good off of 5 hours of sleep, and maybe I can just really use my 5 hours to dream a lot if I remember enough dreams. And this obviously takes a lot of practice, but we'll all get there together. I want to hear your stories about lucid dreaming. Just write them in the comments if you got them. I'd love to hear them. I think it's super cool. I love talking to anybody about dreams because really anything can happen in there. You never really know what's going on with your dreams. So that's going to conclude our segment of Can You Dream It? And lastly, to conclude our show, what have you learned from being a big ol' jerk, a big a-hole? You know, today I was actually kind of good. I was in a good mood. Maybe it's because I slept 5 hours. Maybe it's because I woke up on the right side of the bed. But I think in general, I tried to keep a temper for myself today. I tried to smile a little bit more and not take myself so seriously. I woke up, I made some bacon. Oh my gosh. Made some bacon. Oh, yes. Some eggs. Got a little coffee in me. I went and shot hoops. I went and shot basketball hoops at the neighborhood little hoop there, which was pretty good. And that got my day going pretty well. And I was learning some keyboard earlier today, singing a little bit. I was playing some pool. I was working on the podcast. So pretty successful day. I don't think I was too much of an a-hole. Good thing, right? So maybe I've maybe learned a little bit from just this segment. That's going to do it for me today on the podcast, on the Joe Show, on the Joe Miller Podcast Show. And I will see you guys on the next one. Make sure that you follow the podcast, follow it on Spotify and YouTube. Check me out. Hit up that like button. Share it with all your good friends, because I know they need something to listen to. I know they do. I know it. I know all your athletic friends who are just going on runs every day, going to the gym, working out. They need something to listen to, so show them the Joe Miller Show. Will ya, please? Alright, but a little preachy there at the end. I don't know, it was kind of weird, like Pope Francis or something. Whoa. But that's gonna do it for me. I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.